Good evening. My name is Antonio Abernathy, but better known on the road as Guardian Knight. I want to welcome you drivers that are coming out of truck driving school that are listening to this video. The purpose of this video is to help you guys in your careers. Tell you the truth that schools and a lot of these companies, the things that you're going to get to know about the companies, the school's not going to tell you about it, but when you get to the companies, they will. Okay, you're going to hear all kind of crazy nonsense stuff that you can't really make much money. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. Okay, but here's the thing: you drivers that are coming out of school, the one thing you make sure you do while you are attending that school, get a high grade. That'd be your number one goal. Get a high grade. Why I say that? Because the higher the grade, the better you're going to have a chance to get a job coming directly out of the school. Now, here's the thing about that. You may end up with Warner, Swift, USA, CR England, Stevens Transport, PAM Transportation, even CRST. You're going to end up with one of those companies, and I'm going to tell you something. You're going to get in there, and you're going to find out they're not crappy, but they're not going to do the things the way you thought what it would be like. Okay, here's advice I'm going to give you guys. No matter how bad it gets, as long as they're not having you putting your life in danger, stick it out with these people. Stick it out. Stick it out. First of all, set to get your 100,000 miles. Okay. Once you get to 100,000 miles, now you're good to go. Okay, because now you can go with any company you want to. But here's the catch to that. You leave that company. Let's say it's Swift. You leave them. Okay. And you go to another company. Now, the same thing you dealt with Swift, where you may go to US Express. You may go to PAM Trucking. But the same thing that you dealt with at Swift, you deal with these companies. That's the reason why I say try to hold out as long as you can. Okay? If you can go get in, put it this way, if you can meld in with the company, you're good to go. Give yourself, you're a young driver. Let's say you're 23, 24. Okay? Give yourself up until you 36 or 37. All right? If you're older than that, okay, let's say you're 40. All right? Same thing. Give yourself up you 50, 51. All right? You live to see it. All right? You're giving yourself 10, 11, and 12 years. All right? Now, at the same time, while you dealing with these companies, save your money. Save as much sacrifice. That's the thing right there. The word is sacrifice. Why I say this? Because I'm going to tell you something to you guys. All of y'all, male and female, men and women. Whatever you do, please, I'm stressing and I'm putting emphasis on it. Don't lease no truck from no company. Buy it. Try to get a truck through the bank. But that's the reason why I go back to saying save your money. Because if you save your money for that time, up until 10 years, you got enough money to buy you a day cab. You ain't got to buy a truck with a sleeper. I'm going to tell you why not to lease with a company. Because when you lease with a company, it's just like when you went to the school. Whether you know it or not, you being played like a hooker in a school. But the company going to do you even worse. See, here's the school. The school only looking at the money they're collecting from you. Whether you pass or fail, they're going to collect the money that you paid to go to that school. Okay? the company. Now, let's say you lease on to the company. You just shot yourself in the foot. Why? Because if you bought a truck through them, you are like a prostitute. They're the pimp. Okay, what they do is, it's like if you watch a hooker go out, she go out and she may turn 20 tricks. She do 20 tricks, okay? And each one of them tricks paid her $100. She done made $2,000 for that night. Now she comes back to her pimp. She gives all the money to the pimp. He collects $2,000 from her, or she collects $2,000 from her. Now, he or she may pay her, okay, I'm going to give you $200. Now, this pimp or this madam is going to make $1,800. When this woman laid on her back with 20 guys for the hard work, and all she going to get is $20. Now, put yourself in that same perspective with the company, okay? Company you leased on to, you bought a truck through, or you got your own truck and you didn't know, you leased on to them. All right. Now they say, well, you got some out here like Snyder and JB Hunt. I can name a bunch of more that pays $1.10 a mile. First of all, ask yourself this question: how you gonna make money? You making $1.10 and diesel fuel is right at $4 a gallon. Please explain that to me. And it does not take a rocket scientist to figure it out now, okay? Here's the worst part, okay? You go to work for, say, somebody, a broker, okay? Broker going to do the same thing. But at least the broker going to pay you $5 or $6 a mile, okay? Still, you got all expenses. You got to pay. You got to remember, you paying everything. Insurance, permits, even taxes. You paying all that. All right. Now, that being said, now you got to ask yourself this: if a broker paying you $7 a mile, you better ask yourself, red flags goes off, because how much is the broker getting paid? He or she getting paid. If they paying you $7, they got to be getting paid another $8 or $9. So to alleviate all that, drivers, to alleviate all that, buy yourself, when you buy a truck, get yourself set up for an authority. I got a link on my website that you can go to. I got 2 links. You can go and check out and visit them. Talk to these people about obtaining an authority. What authority does is it alleviates the company that you're getting your loads from, and alleviates the broker. Okay, now you become the broker. You become the company. What you do is get an MC number. You got a truck, the MC number goes on your truck. You can put the number 1 on your truck. That is your truck. That's your truck. It's your company truck. Okay. Now, the good thing about it is that you know the areas where all the loads are. The good thing is this: you never need to leave your state ever again, because you know where all the loads at in the state. You can run a load from your town to 325 miles away from you, and turn around and get a load coming back. And you can do that 5 days a week. And chances are, this is the way this works. The lower the miles, the more money you're going to make. Chances are 325 miles, and you got your own authority. Now you going through Pillsbury, Frito-Lay's, Procter & Gamble, Ross and Perina, any one of these companies. Instead of them paying you like the broker, they're going to pay you exactly what they pay the broker. You are the broker. 9 out of 10, the brokers making more than $15 a mile. He finding somebody that'll run pull for him for $8 or $9, maybe even $7, and he keep the rest. 9 times out of 10, they're paying more than that, but you making the money. Now, the good thing is you're home every night. Now, even the better part, ask yourself this: why do you need to drive when you can hire 3 drivers? Because the company you pull for is a 24/7 operation, meaning you could run a first, second, and third shift. Where you get your drivers at? Go back to where you went to school. Go hire you 3 of them. You know exactly what the low pay, and you know what you're going to make. You didn't already sit down at home and did the homework. You done figured it out. You done put it all together. Okay. Run that first shift driver, train him or her. Okay. And then once they get belted down real good, you let the first shift driver train the second shift driver. Okay. The second shift driver get good and going. You sit and let the first shift driver or the second shift driver train the third shift driver. Okay, now you got 3 loads, 3 pulls running the same day. They all running first, second, and third shift. Okay. All they do is go down, load, reload, come back. Or what you can do is at the same time, you can invest your money, let them do that for a minute, invest your money in a second trailer. That way you can use one trailer at the first where you drop off. They take the loaded trailer down there, drop it, and pick the loaded, drop it off, and pick up a loaded one coming back. All they doing is dropping and hooking. That's it. That's all they doing. The one thing driver I ask y'all, let me tell you something. What companies go bad at, they get greedy. Okay? They get downright greedy where they screw themselves. Okay? And when they do that, they tend to screw the driver. If you pay your driver, say you got a driver out of school, pay him $1,100 a week before taxes. Watch how that driver's going to run for you. Okay? He's going to bust his chops for you. He's going to be loyal to you. He or she going to be loyal to you. Drivers, I'm telling y'all, you can make good money in this industry, and you never have to get back in a truck ever again. You know, you can sit back and just, you can just reap the harvest. Treat your drivers good. That way you will never lose a driver. He'll work for you till he get old, wrinkly, gray, and halfway dead, and still busting his chops for you. And that being said, the word of mouth get out about you, how you treat your drivers and respect them. Okay? Don't be like these companies treat driver like a number or just treat them like a slave. Don't do that. Treat them right. Drivers, there's a lot of more things that I'm going to tell you, even on how to save money. There's things that I'm going to tell you that's going to save you from getting any kind of ticket. Some of the stuff going to sound crazy, but I'm going to tell you something. It's just it's a butt check. It's to check your own self. Don't put your trust in somebody else. Put it in you. You put it on yourself. The things that you need to do to guard yourself from downfalls, snake pits, traps. Because as a driver, you're going to be exposed to all that. You wouldn't even, drivers, I'm going to even say this. I'm not gay or anything, but I'm just going to be real with you. You're going to have men. You're going to have a lot of women trying to hit at you because they think you make a lot of money. And a lot of drivers out there do. But I'm just going to let you know, if you don't have kids yet, don't go out here and make none, because that's the first thing they're going to throw up. When you go to pay child support, they're going to hit you hard. That's why I say, if you find a good woman, stay with that woman, okay? That's the woman you want to be with. Don't mess with a woman that keeps up a lot of drama, a lot of junk. You come home, she likes to party, club, leave. No disrespect, leave that type of woman alone. You don't want to mess with her. I'm just being real. That's a headache. That is a natural born headache. Find you a woman that's a homebody. Not to get off in this going in a different direction, but it takes a special woman to deal with, or a man to deal with somebody in this profession, because you away from home, long hours, long days. All right. But the payday is that when you do say from 5 to 10 years and you get them done, I'm going to tell you something. The payday is, that you can go get your own authority. You save your money up. You can go buy your truck, and somebody you may pull for may have their own trailers. Let's say you pull for Walmart. Walmart, you run for Walmart. You run 300 miles out, 25 miles out, and 325 miles back, and they're paying you $18 a mile for running that freight. Now, you ain't got to haul that no more, because now, like I told you earlier, you can go get you a driver. You can go to the school where you went to, hire you a driver, train him, show him what he need to do or she need to do, and put him to work and let him go from there. Pay them $1,100 a week. You can give them medical benefits. You can even give them medical benefits and dental benefits. Now, you can give them you can even put them in a small life insurance. Now, if they want more, let them get it. But you can give them a small, you can get them a $15,000 life insurance policy for, little money a month. Being you a business, you're going to get it at a discount rate anyways, because you got say 3 to 10 drivers that work for you. Okay. The only thing you're going to do is a little minor. You're going to do the paperwork. But hey, what you rather have? Being home every night doing paperwork, or being out on the road every night and not being at home sleeping in your own bed and with your wife or with your girlfriend? Whichever you choose, it's on you. But I'm saying this, drivers, the money is there. That's what I'm talking to you guys on this video, trying to convince y'all that it's there. Don't let nobody hoodwink you. Don't let nobody beguile you. Don't let them tell you, it ain't no money out here. You can't make nothing. Trucking sucks. No, let me explain something to you. Personally, why I'm right here talking to you in this video, because this I lost. And it's the grace of God that I still got this one. That being said, disqualifies me to drive any commercial vehicle. Period. Okay? The only way I can get back in, it'd be the grace of God giving me my sight back. Because if I can get that one back, I'm going to tell y'all something. You see me running up and down the road with my hair blades on fire. But I'll be doing something different. I may be doing it for a short time because I know the field. I just got me enough money up to where I can go get my authority, and I can go and book loads for other drivers where I never have to step foot in doing it. Because right now I'm working on trying to get me a little money up to get me an authority. That way I can become a broker myself. And I broke the loads out. And here's the thing. If the company that I know that's running those loads, paying $18, $19 a mile, I'm going to tell y'all something. I would sell that load to a driver. I let him pull for me and do it for $15 a mile. I wouldn't, if I'm getting $19 a mile, I wouldn't care. Hey, I'm getting $4 a mile. I'm still making money because this guy or woman running for me is running over 3,500 miles a week. You times 3,500 times $4. I ain't got to pay nothing out of it because they paying their own taxes. They handling it. They got to pay for all the permits and all that. They taking care of all that. They making enough money to pay that. All I'm making is $4 out of that. I'm still making a nice chunk of change. But I'd rather see the driver get more than me. All I did was went and found a load for them. They out there humping they behinds. That's the reason why I would give them the 15 and I'll take the 4. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, in other words, I'm favoring the driver. I'm not going to screw him or her no way, shape, or form. I'm not going to be like these companies out here, got them running for $6 or $7. You got some so pathetic, they charge paying them $1.06 a mile. And they got to pay for their fuel. They got to pay for their permits. They got to pay for their insurance. You can't make no money out of that. I don't know how some of these guys do it. I really don't. But I'm telling you guys that's coming out of the schools, look, take my advice. Do what I'm telling you to do. Because in the long run, it would benefit you, your future. If you're going to have a marriage, a wife, some kids, it'll benefit them down the road. Because if you saved up, you a young driver, you started out at 23, 37 years old, you live to see it, you start taking that money, you take that money that you started saving and bought you a truck, and you bought you a trailer, and you got your authority, you got a little bit of money left out of that. Okay, use that to pay for all your expenses, whatever you have to pay for. But you got enough to start pulling for these loads in your state and be home every night. Don't get caught being that hooker. Don't be that hooker. Put the game back on the companies and the brokers. You use your common sense. While you sitting there working for that company, whether it be Swift, PAM, US Express, USA, CR England, Stevens Transport, save your money. Save it. Save it to buy your own truck. I'm telling you again, and I'm putting emphasis on it. Please, please don't lease a truck. If your credit is good, go through the bank. If your credit's not good, the second way you can do it, save your money to buy you a truck. You know, when I do my next video, I'm going to tell y'all exactly how to save your money. You know, all these guys on YouTube, they talking about trucking truth and all this. 95% of them are not telling you what you need to hear. I'm not cutting them guys down, but they need to tell you the truth. My services that I told you earlier that I provide, whether if you want it or not, when you come in our truck driving school, I can help you get through those 100,000 miles. All I charge you is a fee, a $20 monthly fee. What I provide is I help you with your directions. You ain't got to look for the directions. All you got to do is give them to me, and I'll find them for you. Because a lot of times, you're going to have directions from the company. They're not going to have directions. The company don't have the directions to all your consignees. That's the name you might as well get used to. Either the word consignee or customers. Okay? A lot of times, they don't have directions to shippers. Okay? Here's another one. When they give you directions to the customer, how you know what kind of area you going into? Because chances are, I'm going to tell you, 1 out of 10 going to be a 5. You're going to go to a place that's a rat hole. You hear me? And I say a rat hole. You all I can say is you better come in. You better come in with an M1 Abraham battle tank to keep security around you. You heard what I said. Now, that's the information I find out for you, okay? Secondly, I find out where all your low underpasses are, especially around New York City area and the Chicago area. The other one, if you need to know where any swinging fuel stops, I can tell you where all the fuel stops are and give you the exact price of that fuel in that state. The exact price, okay? The other one, I find for you all the chicken houses, okay? I can give you where every swinging chicken house. Now, I can't say they're open or closed, but here's my thing that why I do this. One, not that you cheat and get around that scale, but one, that you make sure all your ducks on the pond are straight when you go through that scale. The DOT can't find nothing wrong with you. Okay, that's my other thing. And my other services, those drivers that run out west through the passes, like Snoqualmie, east of Seattle, Washington, Downers Pass, west of Reno, Nevada, all the passes that's out west. I give you all the weather conditions and everything and keep you informed. There's more of the services that I have. You know, you can go to my website and you can see all the other things that I offer to you. Okay? There's a lot for very little, you know, but that's if you want the service or not. But that being said, my job here to you guys coming out of truck driving school, old and young, is to help you to get through those 100,000 miles that you need to get in order for you to go to another company. Okay? Now, that being said, I'm going to come out with some more videos. And you guys stay tuned. Because I'm going to have a different video all the time on my website. You know, I'm just glad to be able to be of service and help to you guys. And that being said again, you can consider me as a guru or a teacher. I'm here to help you guys to make it in your careers and to be all you can be. Until then, as we say on the big road, keep the high side up and that low side down. They call me One Guardian Knight. I'm easing back and I'm back out quiet.